Please subscribe. Our subscribers mean a lot to us. Why do we Americans allow so many car accidents that cause so many deaths and horrific injuries to occur every day? Email the White House to pressure the president to draft an executive order to enact the following solution. We propose a radical approach to stop deaths now by implementing a policy where speed limits are reduced by half at locations where road fatalities and injuries occur. The president would need to take several specific steps. Here's a tailored approach. 1. The president could issue an executive order directing federal agencies to collaborate with state and local governments to identify road segments where fatalities have occurred. This order would mandate an immediate reduction of speed limits by half at these locations. He or she also should execute an executive order to make car manufacturers responsible for every death by fining them $1 million that goes to the families for each and every death, so they then might lobby Congress to lower speed limits themselves and improve the safety aspects of their vehicles to prevent such fines. 2. Federal agencies like the Department of Transportation, DOT, would work with state and local authorities to monitor and identify fatal accident sites. They would ensure that speed limits are promptly adjusted and enforced at these locations. 3. The president could advocate for federal legislation that supports this policy. This law could tie federal highway funding to the implementation of reduced speed limits at fatal accident sites, incentivizing states to comply. 4. Launching a national campaign to inform the public about the new policy and its safety benefits. This campaign would emphasize the importance of reducing speed limits to prevent further fatalities. 5. Encouraging the use of technology, such as speed cameras and intelligent transportation systems, to monitor and enforce the new speed limits. These technologies can provide real-time data to ensure compliance. 6. Establishing a system for continuous monitoring of these locations to assess the effectiveness of the reduced speed limits. If no further fatalities occur, the speed limits could be gradually adjusted based on safety assessments. 7. Adopting a broader safe system approach to identify and prioritize locations for speed management improvements. This approach focuses on minimizing injury severity and eliminating traffic fatalities. Implementing this policy would require coordinated efforts between federal, state, and local governments, as well as public support and effective enforcement mechanisms. Would you like more details on any specific aspect of this process? Source: Conversation with Copilot, September 22, 2024. 1. Injury minimization and speed management policy elements, and 2. Speed management is key to road safety, FHWA. 3. Lower speed limits, NHTSA. 4. CA legislation aims to reduce speeding, road fatalities. 5. Slow down, reduce speed limits, save lives in busy cities. The numbers are staggering. It's a lot, similar to that of gun violence. In the USA, in 2022, over 42,000 people died in car accidents, compared to around 45,000 gun-related deaths. The statistics are alarming and completely overlooked for car fatalities, but gun deaths are in the news daily, and they should be. But that's a topic for another video thanks to American Republican policies. In 2024, we're on track for another devastating year of car crash fatalities. The trend shows no signs of slowing down. Yet, you don't see the same level of outrage that we see with gun violence. Why is that? Why do we accept this as normal? Why aren't we angrier about this? Why is there a lack of public outcry? Is it because we think car accidents are just accidents? Random, unavoidable events? A sad but unavoidable part of life? Something we have to live with? Well, here's the thing. Many of these deaths are preventable. With better safety measures and awareness, we can save lives. They're not just accidents, they're tragedies waiting to happen. We need to act now to prevent more loss.
So who's steering this ship towards complacency? Well, the auto industry has a powerful lobby. They spend millions, maybe billions, convincing lawmakers to pump the brakes on stricter safety regulations. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a car commercial that focused on safety features instead of horsepower or sleek design? They're selling us a fantasy, folks. And safety isn't always part of the package.
And guess who's cashing in on all those speeding tickets when the fantasy meets reality? That's right, the government. It's a vicious cycle of profits over people.
But there's a radical plan to reduce speed limits by half at every place where there has been a fatality or major injury on our roads. This change is crucial. We must push for this change to protect our communities. Speaking of the government, let's talk about their role in this mess. It's a complex web of responsibilities and missed opportunities. State and provincial governments have the power to enforce traffic laws and implement safety measures. They hold the keys to our road safety. But are they doing enough? Spoiler alert, nope. The reality is far from satisfactory. We're talking about outdated infrastructure, lax enforcement of traffic laws, and a snail's pace when it comes to adopting new safety technologies. It's a recipe for disaster. It's like they're stuck in the slow lane while the rest of us are careening towards a cliff. The urgency is palpable, yet the response is sluggish.
And don't even get me started on the lack of investment in public transportation. It's a critical issue that's often overlooked. We're making it harder, not easier, for people to choose safer alternatives to driving. The infrastructure for walking, biking, and public transit is woefully inadequate. It's like they want us to stay trapped in this metal death trap on wheels. The consequences are dire and the need for change is urgent.
Despite the clear need for a radical plan to reduce speed limits by half at every place where there has been a fatality or major injury on our roads, inaction has prevailed. It's time to take bold steps. Section 4, Reducing Speed Limits, a crash course in responsibility. In this section, we delve into the critical issue of speed limits and the role of accountability in driving change. So how do we slam the brakes on this carnage? One word: accountability. Accountability is the cornerstone of ensuring that speed limits are enforced and prioritized over convenience.
We need to start holding authorities responsible for the enforcement of speed limits. This means rigorous monitoring, transparent reporting, and severe consequences for negligence. Imagine if, instead of just paying fines after the fact, authorities were held liable for every death caused by speeding or preventable accidents. The impact would be profound. Suddenly, those speed enforcement measures wouldn't seem so expensive, would they? The cost of human life far outweighs the cost of implementing robust speed control measures.
And it's not just about punishment. It's about incentivizing change. By creating a system where speed control is rewarded, we can encourage authorities to innovate and prioritize the well-being of their citizens.
We need to demand better speed limit standards, stricter regulations, and a culture of responsibility from the top down. This means everyone, from traffic engineers to policymakers, must be committed to making our roads safer for all. One radical plan is to reduce speed limits by half at every place where there has been a fatality or major injury. This bold move could drastically cut down on accidents and save countless lives.
Section 5, Driving Towards a Safer Future. This isn't just about cars. This is about people. It's about the thousands of lives lost each year in preventable tragedies. It's about the families torn apart, the futures cut short, the potential extinguished. We need to start treating car crash fatalities with the same urgency and outrage as any other public health crisis. Because that's what it is. And it's time we started acting like it. The radical plan to reduce speed limits by half at every place where there has been a fatality or major injury on our roads is a hopeful and inspiring step towards a safer future for all. We have to do better. Section 6, Buckle Up America, it's time for a change. So, buckle up America, it's time to shift gears and steer this conversation in a new direction. We need to demand accountability, prioritize safety, and make our roads a safer place for everyone. Let's make sure that the next generation doesn't have to grow up in a world where car crash fatalities are just accepted as a fact of life. Let's make them a relic of the past. Let's choose life over profits. Let's choose action over apathy. The time for a radical plan to reduce speed limits by half at every place where there has been a fatality or major injury on our roads is now. We must act to save lives. The road to change starts now. Are you with me?
Car manufacturers could spend millions of dollars lobbying for lower speed limits and other regulations to reduce the number of deaths they might be held liable for if we made them automatically liable for each serious injury and car fatality. Instead, they spend millions on lobbying Congress to let them get away with causing so many deaths. And as a side note, shame on the provinces and states for allowing speed limits to be so high and driving training to be so ridiculously inadequate. This chapter will explore the various tactics they use to influence legislation and public opinion. From generous donations to political campaigns to deploying an army of lobbyists, these companies leave no stone unturned in their quest to shape the laws in their favor. They present themselves as champions of safety, all while subtly pushing for regulations that benefit their bottom line. But how do they do it? And more importantly, what can we do to counteract their influence? We need transparency in the legislative process and stricter penalties for companies that prioritize profits over human lives. Only then can we hope to hold these giants accountable and pave the way for real, meaningful change. It's time to pull back the curtain and expose the hidden agendas that put us all at risk. The road to a safer future is not just about better cars, it's about better policies and holding those in power accountable. Let's demand more from our lawmakers and more from the companies that profit from our roads. Together, we can drive towards a future where safety is the highest priority. Despite their hidden agendas, we must prioritize the radical plan to reduce speed limits by half at every place where there has been a fatality or major injury on our roads. Are you ready to take the wheel?
As we delve deeper into the hidden agendas that shape our roads and laws, it's crucial to explore the cutting-edge technologies that promise a safer driving future. In this chapter, we examine how advanced traffic law enforcement technology can support the radical plan to reduce speed limits by half at every place where there has been a fatality or major injury, ensuring safer roads for everyone. Every year, thousands of lives are lost due to traffic fatalities and accidents. Imagine a world where advanced technology in our vehicles could monitor and control driving behavior, potentially saving countless lives. The statistics are staggering, and the need for innovation has never been more urgent. Current technologies like automated traffic enforcement systems, license plate recognition apps, and in-vehicle technology for impaired driving exist, but are not yet widely implemented. Why? The reasons range from technological challenges to public resistance. Challenges and opposition. Developing and integrating sophisticated systems is no small feat. Privacy concerns loom large, with fears of surveillance and data misuse. Legal and regulatory hurdles, cost considerations, and trust issues further complicate the landscape. Opposition comes from various parties, including privacy advocates, civil liberties groups, and even insurance companies. Public opinion and engagement are vital. A public vote or referendum could gauge support for these technologies. A robust legal and regulatory framework must ensure that data is used solely for its intended purpose. Trust and accountability are paramount, with organizations legally obligated to protect and use data responsibly. Enter the Safe Drive Enforcer app. This innovative solution offers real-time monitoring using smartphone sensors, analyzing driving behavior, and providing feedback. It can issue warnings and notify law enforcement if necessary, integrating seamlessly with law enforcement agencies. Most importantly, it prioritizes privacy protection, ensuring data is used solely for enforcing traffic laws. How it works. Drivers install the app on their smartphones, activating it whenever they operate a vehicle. The app provides real-time feedback and warnings, notifying law enforcement if warnings are ignored. Data security is a top priority, with encryption ensuring responsible use, ensuring compliance. To ensure compliance, we propose a legal mandate requiring all drivers to use the app. Public awareness campaigns, incentives like reduced insurance premiums, regular audits, and a reporting mechanism for non-compliant drivers will support this initiative. Law enforcement can use GPS tracking, Bluetooth integration, periodic check-ins, AI-equipped traffic cameras, random spot checks, and public reporting to detect non-compliance. Conclusion. The high death toll from car accidents is a stark reminder of the need for change. Various stakeholders, from privacy advocates to insurance companies, influence the lack of action. Responsibility lies with all of us, drivers, lawmakers, and technology developers, to push for a safer future. Advanced traffic law enforcement technology offers hope and potential to save lives. Hidden agendas must be unveiled, and a collective call for change is essential. Let's take the wheel and drive towards a future where safety is our highest priority. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below with your thoughts. And don't forget to check out the links in the description to support our work. Thank you for watching.